the habits you can develop as a young man, reading books is arguably one of the most important. It's a simple yet powerful way to gain knowledge, learn about the world around you, and ultimately become a better man. But unfortunately, many young men today don't read because they believe it's boring or a waste of time, and I can't lie, I used to think these things. But the truth is, reading is one of the most rewarding things you can do as a man. It can help you develop critical thinking skills, improve your memory, and reduce stress, which can all help you to create better relationships and become a better leader to the people around you. So if you're ready to take your life to the next level, watch and discover the transformative power of reading books. Now, straight up, the old me used to think that reading was for losers. I thought it was a waste of time, and actually, to be completely honest with you, I thought it was just for pretentious assholes that thought they were something that they weren't. So for years, I avoided reading like the plague. But then in my early 20s, I'd say something in my Swede changed. I started to feel like there was more to life than just the shit I was experiencing with the constant partying and the taking drugs and drinking alcohol. And I felt like I just wasn't living up to my full potential. And to be honest, I didn't really know what to do about it. But then one day I was in this business workshop class where the teacher was trying to help us start up our own businesses. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really have much of an idea of what was going on. But I do remember in one of the classes where I asked the teacher what he did to become so successful in his business. And what he said completely revolutionized my perception of reading books. Now bear in mind, this reader was made a multi-millionaire through his business, so he knew exactly what he was talking about. And to me, at that time, it was quite unbelievable because the people that I grew up with weren't exactly made of money, at least that type of money. But anyway, this is more or less what he told me. He said to reach the level of success that I achieved with my business, I read the book The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Once I read it again. And then after that, I read it again. And I continued to read the book until I dreamed the words. And the next thing that he told me is what really stood out to me. He said, every time I read the book, I made sure I was applying every single bit of knowledge the author was providing me into my business. And that's it. That is literally it. I was sold at that moment and I just knew that I had to get that book. If he achieved the level of success that he achieved in his business because of a book, then I'd be an absolute fool to just disregard it completely. So a few days later, after I'd ordered it and it had arrived through the letterbox, I ripped open the parcel and, instantly was just jaw dropped at the sight of this book, and I couldn't wait to get stuck into it. And I obviously read it as soon as possible. And honestly, in my complete honest opinion, as honest as it gets, brother, I thought, damn, this book is old. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was really old and it wasn't quite as good as I'd hoped it to be. But you know what? That didn't matter in the slightest because it was so eye-opening, even the fact that I didn't enjoy it that much. Because as I read, I began to realise that there was this whole world of knowledge and wisdom that I'd been missing out on for years and years. I learned a lot of new things in this book and I gained a lot of insight, and I developed this hunger for knowledge that I'd never felt before in my life. The result of me reading this book led to me reading even more books where I discovered this passion for self-improvement that I never even knew I had before. I started to set goals for myself and I started working hard to achieve these goals. And I genuinely felt like reading these books was allowing me to just level up in life. I found that I was more confident, I found that I was more self-assured and more capable of achieving shit than I ever thought was possible. Looking back, I think it's a real shame actually that I thought reading was for losers. But having said that, I'm very, very grateful that I decided to give that first book a chance. And I now know that books are absolutely vital, and I'll continue to read and grow for the rest of my life. And that's why you need to do exactly the same. It's It's non-negotiable, man, honestly. For every single problem that you have right now, or will ever have for that matter, there is an answer in a book somewhere. So let me go into a bit more depth as to what I mean by that. Now, the best way that I think I can explain this to you is to imagine that reading books is kind of like having an older brother who is so much more wiser and can teach you about life and can teach you important lessons and strategies to help you handle different problems. A lot of the times, the books that are in this kind of self-improvement niche are filled with stories of real life people who have been through similar problems to you in life and found ways to overcome them. And I'll give you some examples of these books in a moment. But ultimately, I want you to understand that these kind of books can teach you literally anything in life, ranging from how to build resilience to how to develop a positive mindset and how to make money online. And actually, not only do these books teach you, but in fact, a lot of them provide practical exercises and activities that you can take part in to really kind of make you learn quicker and implement what you've learned into real life. So what books would I recommend? Well, honestly, there's loads of them, and it completely depends on the types of problems that you are experiencing in life right now. Therefore, what I think is far more valuable is for me to only show you a few so that you can then go on to do your own research as to what books you think would be good for you. And the reason for why I'm not just going to straight up give you an entire list of books right now is because I think it is far more valuable for me to teach you how to fish as opposed to just giving you a fish, if that makes sense. Basically, in other words, you're better off knowing how and where to find books instead of me just giving them all to you at once. And that analogy is actually one that I took from a book called Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson, and that is going to be the first book that I'm going to recommend you to read. Traffic Secrets is a part of a trilogy by Russell Brunson, as I've just mentioned, and if you're interested in making money online, honestly mate, these are non-negotiable. You have to read these. They are incredible, man. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to recommend to you is The 3% Man by Corey Wayne. And this book is all about teaching men how to behave and think like high power and high quality men so that they can date and attract equally high quality and attractive women. And the third book that I'm going to suggest to you is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And this book is going to teach you how to create small but yet positive habits to help you make even bigger changes in your life. So now that you're aware of these three books, my advice is to go and read all of them, especially the ones that stick out to you the most. And in doing so, you're going to come across an absolute abundance of books that are going to be able to provide you with this older brother type of knowledge. Honestly, man, like as I said, there is an abundance of books available, and Amazon is a great place to start because not only can you buy cheap second-hand books on there, but you can also read the reviews and see what you think of the book and read other people's kind of ideas on the book before you commit to paying for it. Aside from that, I would very much suggest that you go and buy yourself a Kindle, very much like this one right here, okay? Because not only are books going to be so much cheaper for you on this, but this thing is so much more convenient, especially if you're going to be reading on the go for most of the time like I do. And this is a Kindle Paperwhite 7, which I ended up buying on eBay for about £35, which is 35 British pounds, by the way, for people outside of the UK. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that's quite a good value for money product. I use it all the time and I'm really, really happy with it. So my suggestion is to go out and get yourself something like that. But yeah, bro, just remember, reading self-improvement books is gonna enable you to learn just about anything. You can learn how to actually really truly believe in yourself, like true belief. Do you know how powerful that is, right? True belief. You're going to learn that from a book. You're going to learn how to properly set goals and how to achieve them and how to get in proper shape and how to eat the right foods, and pretty much learn just how to become the best man that you can possibly be for your family and the people around you. So seriously, bro, embrace the wisdom that books hold. Push aside your idea of books being gay, all right? And let the books be kind of like your trusted brother or your trusted mate that you can always rely on to give you wisdom and help you to embark on this journey of becoming an absolute machine. To upgrade your mindset even more, click on this video right here. Believe you can, and you're more than halfway there.